think we were on maybe day 3 or so of the dark and stormy night weather here, which I'm not complaining about. It's been nice today, gray skies, rain. We have gotten a little bit of snow in it, but that's okay. At least it's not hot and sunny in the middle of October. So, me and Damon are going out of town, I suppose. Maybe yarn shopping while we're out. But look, not only is it this beautiful rainy day that is darker, by the way, than my camera is showing, but there's a ton of ice pellets in the rain already. Lemon says that it is 39 degrees. I believe it. It's pretty cold today. How's the weather where you guys are at? Yeah, so we're gonna get on the road and stop filming for now. And yeah, I just thought I'd share a nice, beautiful day with you guys. Hopefully everything is going well. And we'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye. So, we just tried to take a trip into Michael's, but it was super busy. And I did get some goodies. I will show you guys later what I got. But it was super busy. And there was like a lady that was like following me around in the yarn aisle, so I couldn't really video anything. And yeah, so we're gonna try Hobby Lobby and see how that goes. So wish us luck. We'll check back in with you guys in a bit. Bye. This might literally be the cutest thing I've ever seen. We're at Target, by the way. How cute is that? I love it. They have a wreath version too. This is adorable. I don't know if I want to make pom-poms, or I would say I could just make my own. Oh my god, it's perfect. I love it. Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing today? So today is Vlogtober day 18th. So excited. I pulled out my do you guys remember this when I made it? I think either at the beginning of this year or maybe it was last year. But this is from the Bernat. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's kind of a lot like homespun yarn, only it's like a more like terracloth thing. I had this color, and then I had 2 different colors in like a brownish color, and I said that reminded me of my grandma's carpet from like my grandma's house back in the day. Anyway, I had enough of this that I had made this really big cozy sweater, and it's been hanging up in my craft closet for the summer when I didn't need it. But now that I'm wearing it, I don't remember if I have a picture of me, I will stick it in, but it basically came like, and I overlapped these, but like that's how it overlapped on me, right? I can tell how much weight I actually managed to lose because basically I can wrap it across me, and like I don't know if you can tell how much of this wraps across me now, but like the pockets that were on the side can both go to like my front, like that's the pocket. So maybe I have to crochet a belt to go with it now. Which is fine. It's still big and cozy and comfy and warm, which is the point of it, because if you can't tell, I'm still a little stuffy and I have been out in the rain today. We had snow and ice mixed in with it because it was like 30 degrees. It was 32, or 38. It was in the 30s anyway today, which is like, oh. Yes, this is a hat that I also designed, and I am now going to be doing a video tutorial for it eventually. I haven't named it yet or anything, but there'll be a video tutorial coming, and this will probably be the thumbnail unless I like the new one I make better. We'll see. Anyway, so today I hung out with Damon. We went to one of the cities nearby, and we went to a bunch of stores, right? A bunch. I think I had a couple video clips of some of them, and then, oh, that's a pattern that I found somewhere. Sorry. Anyway, so we went to, first of all, we ate at Panera, which Damon was not impressed. I was. I super like they have like a buffalo chicken spicy chicken whatever sandwich. I really liked it. Thought it was quite yummy. But it's not where we went first. First we went to Michael's. I had the intention of doing some videos, like videoing in the store, and like every store was super busy. Like even right at close, they were busy. So like, what can you do, right? Excuse me. So I can just show you what I got. But I went into Michael's and with the intention, I had like a $5 voucher that I wanted to spend because it is over, like expires on Wednesday, on the 19th. So tomorrow, actually. So I only got 2 things, but I bet you can guess what they are. They're sizable things. But they had some of the new anniversary cakes. I have been looking high and low for those sprinkled ones, like the confetti looking ones, but no avail. They're not online. I mean, they've been online, but I've missed them, and they have not been in any of my stores. But they had 2 new, well, they had 3 or 4 new colors, I think, and they had quite a decent stock of the ones they had. But here's what I got anyway. This one is called Koi Pond, and this is the one I have been like coveting online. I really wanted to make sure I got this one. I just think it's so pretty. I love the colors. So there's like 2 or 3 different blues. There's this really fun like magenta-y pink in here, and then there is a really bright orange. So I love it. I think it's beautiful. If you're not familiar with Karen, and their Karen cakes, I think, are 30% off this week. So decent. I mean, not like the cheapest thing ever, but think about all the yarn that you get in these, you guys. I know it says it's a 6, but I think it's more like a 5 weight yarn. 100% acrylic. There's 1,000 grams of yarn in here, which is 35.5 ounces. That's 1,061 yards, which is 970 meters. So, I mean, it's a hefty guy, right? And I don't have every single anniversary cake. Don't get me wrong. I've only over the years gotten the ones that I really, really liked. Like last year, I liked almost all of them. I know there's some I didn't get, but or the year before, whenever they did them last, I got several with just single ones in some of them. That's the same case this year. Like I liked quite a few. I think these make my 3rd and 4th one that I got, but I really like the colors. So I got Koi Pond, and then they have this handy dandy carrying thing too. And then I got this one, which I think would actually mix with it really nicely. What is the color? Where are you? The color of this one is Fuchsia Fusion. But isn't that fun looking? It's like a bowl of Fruit Loops. It's got the same fun orange, and one of the magenta-y colors is the same. So those 2 colors are the same. And then this has got purple, and then another like purpley mauve color, and then a pink color, right? So if you take the 2 and you put them together, isn't that pretty? I love it. So worst case scenario is if I just make some projects that need like multiple cakes, these 2 would go great together. Or I could just get a solid to go with it too, like a solid of some sort of comparable yarn. But they're pretty. I really like them. Then we went to, well, we did go to Hobby Lobby. There was really nothing new there, and it was the last place we went, actually. Okay, so we went to Michael's. We went to Best Buy because it was right next to Michael's, Damon wanted to look at stuff. We didn't end up getting anything. And then I think from there we went, got ahead of myself with Hobby Lobby. We went there last, I think, actually. No, second to last. I'll get with it eventually. But after that, we went to a Halloween store, not Spirit. I thought it was when we pulled in, and it was just a regular pop-up one, which is fine, but it was one of the ones that mostly has like costume pieces, but not like Spirit has got like things that I'll use in my home, you know, like canisters or blankets or towels or just a bunch of different things like that. This one was mostly all just costumes and mostly all just pieces of costumes, not even like you'd have to piece them together yourself kind of. It was just that Halloween store. So we didn't get anything there either. And then we went to Home Goods next, I think, which is not normally a Heather store, just saying, like normally. But they have really cute Halloween and fall stuff. One thing that I wanted so bad from like the Halloween hauler videos that I've seen from people, and they didn't have it. I knew I'd miss out on it because they didn't have it on. They haven't had it online since like August. But it's this it's like a lantern. So it's like cylinder and like, I don't know, like that long or something, right? And it emits kind of like a rainbow light, and on it are bats. And I wanted it so bad, but I haven't found it anywhere. So, but I had to check for it there. Well, while we were in there, I picked up, they had several different ones of these, like a canister, and they're like old time looking too. Like they're really vintagey looking, right? But this is a canister of hot chocolate. They had maybe like 6 or 8 different kinds, but this one says, Malcolm McScary's Frightfully Orange Colorful Hot Chocolate. And look how vintage looking that is. Isn't that awesome looking? So it's just hot chocolate, but it's orange. Damon said he'd try it with me later. If we try it tonight, I will show you at the end of the video, but we might not break into it tonight. Maybe a different night. But I got that. And then there's a lot of cute stuff, let me just say. But I couldn't, like I said no to most of it because I knew I'd already bought like the anniversary cakes and stuff. I did, when I was in line, I got this bag that says Trick or Treat, and it's just got a skeleton, like a very dapper looking skeleton, right, on a bicycle. He's got crows around him, and it's like a pretty, like when it folds out, it's a pretty good size. I guess it says Home Goods on the side there. I didn't know that at the time, but that's okay. And these were only like 99 cents. I think, something like that. It's pretty cheap. Yeah, 99 cents. Compare at $2, our price 99 cents. So it's a big size bag, right? And I had the hot chocolate in it. And then I got this, which I could not wait to get home and put batteries in and try out. Because the chick was like, are you going to bring it back? And I was like, I mean, I'm not planning to. I didn't want to just take it and buy it and show it off and bring it back. I guess some people do that. I didn't plan to ahead of time, and I don't plan to now that it works. But she asked that because it didn't have a price tag on it. We had to get a different one with a price tag for her to scan it. But this was the only one. There was 2. There was an orange one with different, they had like pumpkins on the front and a different style picture. And then there was this one, which is obviously purple. It is styled like an old time radio. And look, bats and jack-o'-lanterns. The other one just had jack-o'-lanterns across here. Bats, jack-o'-lanterns. It's purple. Let me see if I can not reflect the light off of this. But there's a dial here. And the dials have 3 different channels. There's the Witches News Network. There is the Vampire Weather Network, which is, I think, my favorite. And then there is KDED, which is a radio station or a music station. There's a little witch right here, if you didn't see that. And then there's an on-off knob. I am going to play this, but it's pretty, well, I'm gonna try to keep the volume down, but be warned, the next like minute or so might be kind of loud. And if there's music, I'll switch it right away. Like this is the KDED station. Witches News Network.
Sports Desk Update, your source for all the scary sports news. From behind the lines of the Witches' Coven, the Witches' annual Capture the Ghost Championship was held yesterday, and it was quite a game. In the end, the horrid hags prevailed over the creepy crones, and the warts ended up ahead to claim the title and take home the coveted Purple Wart Trophy.
And then the weather. My favorite.
This is your Transylvania weatherman, Vampire Vic, coming to you live from outside Count Dracula's castle. With the barometer falling as fast as a dead bat, I can barely make out the ghouls and goblins through the thick fog. We are closely watching the weather system moving in, and it looks like Halloween night will begin as a dreadfully gloomy evening. But later, the fog will lift for a downright terrifying blood
the idea, but isn't that cool, you guys? Like, I couldn't resist it. I could not resist it. I said no to almost everything. There were so many cool, there was like, if you know who Ray Dunn is, like the artist or whatever, Ray Dunn, they had a ton of Ray Dunn stuff, which I guess normally sells out, but they had a ton of it. They had candles, they had mugs, they had pottery, they had like a big bowl that was Ray Dunn. And they're all in like Halloween theme. Like some of them are black with just the writing on, and they'll have like witch legs sticking off of them, or they'll have pumpkins, or the bowl I think was a big pumpkin. I didn't find the cauldron, or I would have had that cauldron bowl too, but that wasn't there. But yeah, I said no to so much, but I could not resist this. I had to have it. It's going to go up in my craft room, actually. I love it so much. Mr. Halloween, Decorative Halloween Radio. Tune in for the latest Halloween weather, news, and music. All right, anyway. So yeah, I got that anyway at Home Goods, and then I got the hot chocolate. Then we went to Hobby Lobby. That's when we went to Hobby Lobby. No, we went to Target. I'm a liar. I went to Target. Damon got some stuff, and I got David a CD, but I didn't get anything at Target. And then we went to Hobby Lobby after Panera. The only thing that I got at Hobby Lobby was these, like, I got stencils that are just the alphabet. It was the one I liked the most. You probably can't even see them that well between the glare and it's green letters on like a really blue, because the stencil is what's blue. But I got these letters because my calendar, my Halloween calendar that David and I have been making, I have to paint the month sticks. And then I thought I would paint them in like a purple and orange, something like that, a gray maybe. And then in black letters, letter over at the different months. So I thought that would be good for those. And I have to get letters or numbers, like bigger numbers for the blocks, or freestyle it. But the numbers wouldn't be as hard to freestyle. But I didn't think my writing, like my painting lettering would look that great. So I got a stencil. That being said, then the only other place we went to after that, I believe, was Joann's. That was very good. So I did get the 2 anniversary cakes, but then I went in everywhere else. I was super like disciplined. Trust me, that was disciplined at Home Goods because there was a lot of stuff that I wanted very badly. I may go back again after I get paid again. We'll see. But then I went to Joann's, and the only thing I got was this Big Twist reverb. Look at that gorgeous color. I got that in the color Rust Red, it's called, but it is very orangey. It's like a sunset. Isn't that just beautiful? I figured I could get a hat. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll use, maybe. We'll see. But that's what I picked up. And that was everything that I bought on my outing today. And then I came home, crocheted some. I didn't get a lot of crocheting done today. Like I said, I got this sweater out. David is doing like some more home improvement-y stuff. Occasionally he gets it in him that he wants to like rearrange our bedroom. So I think he might be doing that right now. I heard some banging coming from upstairs, so that might be what he's doing. If you hear any, like if the mic does pick it up, that's what's going on up there. I'm pretty sure. And we have this big, like he had made a big bed frame with posts and everything. And it's cool looking. Don't get me wrong. He's had it since before I even lived with him. He's made it a long time ago. And he has wanted to rearrange everything. And he said, well, what do you think if I take it down and then you could finally get like the headboard that you wanted? So I think that's what we're doing. He might even be doing that upstairs. I'm not sure what he's doing. I haven't been up to check because I've been doing some stuff downstairs, but we're talking about like moving things around and what we're going to move around upstairs. And so I might be getting the last little kind of odd corner in my upstairs craft room that might be getting moved around, and some stuff out of it so I can put more crafty type stuff in it. Here's hoping. But yeah, so stuff is in motion tonight. And, and then I came home because tomorrow I will be starting my gift exchange with Courtney. She did get her package, so she's got that. Yay. And then my Stranger Things 13 Days Advent Calendar. So I put all of the bags in this little basket. So you can start, like day 1, I have like day 1 through 6 here, and 7 through 12, and then 13's like bringing up the rear back here. But I have those put away in like the only basket I could find at the moment. So they are ready to go. And then I didn't really do much else. I didn't do much else at all. So how has your day been? Before work tomorrow, I have, if the weather permits, because it's been rainy, really rainy, and now it's really cold, but there's supposed to be a, at the local, pet, shelter. Thank you, Heather. I got the word. Shelter. They have, it's called Alvan, Humane Society, but they are doing a charity, like it's like $5 to get in, and there's like family things. There's like a screening of like Hocus Pocus they're going to show in the evening, and then there's like face painting, and there's different things like that. But what I was excited about is the first thing advertised is when you go in, you can go get puppy cuddles. So I want puppy cuddles. So I'm going to try to get, Damon said he'd go with me before work. We're just going to go right before work and then go to work, but I'm trying to get David to go with me too. So I need some puppy cuddles. I want some puppy cuddles. So hopefully we can get some puppy cuddles. But yeah, other than that, nothing exciting has been going on today. Oh, David had from like his studio, so he could put things like costumes on it and stuff. He had a dress model, like a dress form, and he doesn't use it anymore. So he went to his parents' house and got it out of their basement for me, so I can put like my shawls on it and stuff to take pictures, so I can get my patterns out. So I'm going to do that. I got to dust it off and stuff. So it was in the basement, so but I'm going to have that up in my craft room, I think, and yes, good stuff happening there. So that being said, that I think is everything like exciting that's happened today. So let us get on with the daily activities, shall we? These are the little like quarter machine prizes that I have. There's only a handful left compared to what was there, but there's different like E.T., Halloween, Gremlins, and then there is one Universal Monster one left. So we're going to do 2 of them, because from here on out, I think that's enough for, today's the 18th, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, we're going to 2 today, and then that'll leave enough for 1 each day. So, you know, because I'm going to be doing the other, like the advent calendar and stuff. So let's pick out 2, and if they're the same, I will throw one back. So we got a Halloween one. I pick Halloween almost every time, don't I? And then Gremlins. So let's open these bad boys up. I don't know why I always shake them. I'm like, what is it? Like, I can't wait. The Halloween one we have. Oh! So a lot of these prizes are similar, except for the fact that they're their own, you know, brand of things. Like, I have gotten Universal Monster shoelaces and E.T. shoelaces. And these are the Halloween shoelaces. So, and you guys had suggested for the ET one, especially the using them for like a drawstring. So I might do that for the Halloween ones also. So Halloween shoelaces. Oh, unless David wants them, he might wear them. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. And then the Gremlins one. I don't know why I always have such a problem getting these open. Oh, it's the sticker. But look, it's Gizmo in his little hat. Isn't that adorable? Love him. He's so cute. I love Gizmo. So those are the two little prizes for today. Then, as you are mostly all probably familiar with, in my Stranger Things notebook, I have written down 31 different like topics of discussion, theories and things like that I pick one a day and read to you. And then I tell you like my point of view on it or what I think about it. And then I ask that you guys do the same and let me know in the comments below like what you think or your theory on it or what, your opinion on it. And like I said yesterday, you guys have not disappointed, so keep it coming. I love it. And some of these are from the internet, like based on popular ones, or some of these are like my own thoughts or suggestions or whatever. So let us pick another. Oh, my rings are getting caught. Let's see. Okay, so this one is slightly involved, but I really love the thought of this. Okay, well, I really love the theory that is behind it, or whatever, however you want to put it. Okay, so Vecna, he can like basically mind control people, like trick their thoughts and implant thoughts in their heads and make them live out like these horrible things like with Chrissy and everybody, right? Vecna mind controlled, or he did that anyway, whatever you want to call it. He mind controlled the Demogorgons and the Demodogs. That's what I wrote down. Let me explain that. So when, sorry, I thought I heard somebody outside the door. When we first saw in season 4, Elle opened up that portal and Henry/1/Vecna he was falling into it, and that's how he ended up in the Upside Down. When he first landed there, and that's when he saw, like, he ran across the Mind Flayer as its, like, primordial form and stuff. Also, you saw just this, like, random rogue Demogorgon kind of shuffling up a hill somewhere. He wasn't like, oh, I immediately see a person, let me go attack him, and, things like that. And also, that we talked yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, about how the theory is there's different stages of growth in the Demogorgon's growth, like, lifespan. That first they're like the little slug thing, like Will coughed up, and then they turn into like the little tadpole thing of Dart that Dustin found, and then Dart morphosized through a couple stages of Demodogness, right? So then there's the Demodogs, and then in theory they end up Demogorgons. Or even if they're separate creatures, that's fine. This theory like covers it all, I guess, but they can be the same or separate. So if I can find it, I'm going to link a video to this guy. If I don't find it, I'll try. But if I don't find it, I'm going to do my best to explain it. But his theory is that, so when you first, like when Vecna falls in the Upside Down and you see the Demogorgon wasn't like, I see this guy, let me immediately run and kill him. Or he may have killed. I mean, who knows, right? Because he was already weakened and stuff and fell through this new dimension. He was taken by surprise. And then suddenly there would be a Demogorgon on him. He may have killed him. That could have been the end of the problems right there. But he didn't, is the point. Like, the Demogorgon kind of looked like he had, like, places to go, things to do, And he was just minding his own business, basically. And then we see the Demogorgon, like, in Hawkins, that, in theory, came through a portal that maybe Vecna created. Maybe. So you assume that Vecna kind of put him here, right? Then, fast forward, season 4 in Russia, the Russians also had a Demogorgon. And that one was more primal, for lack of a better word. Like, its instincts were just killing and things, but when it was set to... No, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. It was set to attack and everything, but that was when the Mind Flayer had been, I don't know if everybody caught this or not. It took me a second watching to fully realize what happened. well, I've been many watching since then, but it was on my second watching that I fully realized when they had the Mind Flayer particles in there and the Demogorgon had been kind of running amok, right? Because it got released. That's when the soldiers opened fire. They broke all the cases with all the other like demodogs in it, with the Mind Flayer particles in it. And then the dying soldier explained to Hopper and them that the Mind Flayer got in them and he was controlling them again, kind of the way Vecna does, right? Henry, oh man, I want to get this right. Henry /1/Vecna creates people the way I'll be right back. Something is going on in my living room. One moment. Okay, sorry. Oh, squeaks. Oil's not helping this. I have to get a different chair. Yeah, as noted. Oh, of course now it's not going to do it. Of course it's not. Anyway, I don't know if you guys heard that noise, but that was David. He is deconstructing things upstairs. Anyway, I guess I should have taken the time to get more prepared for what I was saying, but because it's hard to convey everything. This video did such a good job. So there's kind of like a different personality behind, like if Vecna got a hold of Chrissy, let's say. She was like one way that she was. Everybody was like, oh, we love Chrissy. She's this really sweet girl or whatever. And then she was changed, you know, like she was kind of short with Max when she was getting sick and being scared and everything in the bathroom. And she was, I don't know, just a little more like temperamental, I guess. She was really nervous and fidgety. That's how he affected her too, because of everything she was seeing. But the theory was that Vecna and Elle to a degree too, like when she piggybacked with Max, they affect your thoughts and they can, in a sense, kind of reprogram how you are, right? And if the Demogorgons were their own beings before Henry ever fell into this world, which clearly they were, in theory, he has kind of done the same thing to them, right? And that's how they've made a hive mind out of all of them. Because obviously when the Mind Flayer was coming up on Henry when he fell into the portal, if they were all a hive mind at the time, the Mind Flayer would have been, getting up, checking out Henry, and so would the Demogorgon, right? It would have been like a hive mind thing, like when all the Demobats attack at the same time and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't. The Demogorgon was still doing whatever he was doing, going upon his way, maybe going back to his little Demogorgon family or whatever he was doing, hunting, whatever he was doing. And in theory, when all the Demodogs were hive-minding it and attacking everybody. Remember in the junkyard in season 2 when Steve and Dustin and Lucas and Max were in that bus and they were trying to get Dart, and then all the Demodogs were attacking, basically, like they all showed up and they were starting to swarm the bus, and then all of a sudden they all got called away and left. And that's when they realized they were like hive-minding it and working together. In theory, that's because they're all basically being controlled by Vecna to some degree. Or the Mind Flayer, or Vecna Mind Flayer, like whatever, the joining of the two, however you want to put it. So, Vecna, when Vecna was implanting things in like Chrissy's head, or Patrick's head, or Fred's head, any of them, Max's head, he was basically like when he was in Max's head and he had Billy. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I promise this is going to get somewhere collectively in a second. But he basically had Billy, and he was using the form of Billy to bring up all these really just like bad memories, to make Max distraught, to make her upset. And when Max was kind of like saving herself, it's because she already had some good memories to build on, right? So she could fight Vecna, and like once she realized that's what she had to do. Well, like from basically birth, because these were like growing stages of a Demogorgon or whatnot, the demodogs were in like what, the second or third stage of growth. They haven't really had any good memory. They've been a product now of like Vecna, Henry 1, whatever you want to call it, and the Mind Flayer. And if they're being controlled, they don't really have any like happy memories to like reprogram their thinking. Now Dart did, right? Dart had Dustin and not really the other kids, I guess. He wasn't having a good time when the other kids were shown him, but he had Dustin, and Dustin like took care of him. Dustin and him had that shared bond. They had like over the nougat candy, Three Musketeers or whatever it was that he stuck in there. They had that like Dart knew some happiness basically, which makes me feel really good. I love Dart. But when they were down in the caverns then, and they were trying to distract the hive-minded demodogs from Hopper and all of them, Dart stopped, and he was like, Dustin was able to get the kids past him and get himself past him because he didn't attack, because Dart kind of resisted this hive mind. He resisted the like orders that all of them were getting to like attack on sight or whatever it was, because he had that like happy memory. So in essence, that memory with Dustin was doing the same thing that like Max's memories of like the snowball dance were doing for Max. They were helping him resist that order of Vecna, right? So, in theory, Vecna is mind controlling all of them to do his will, and that's how the hive mind was formed. And most of them, aside from Dart, didn't really have anything to deprogram them. But Dart showed us that once you do have something like that, just like with Max and them, once you do have that, you can think of that. Like when Dart may not have always been thinking about it, because we don't really know how smart they are, right? But Dart may not always have had that on his mind, but once he was presented in front of Dustin, he recognized like happiness, peace, calm, whatever it was that he was sharing emotionally with that moment. Makes me really excited and happy that maybe there's like hope for the demodogs, because I really love them. I think they're so cute. I know that's weird. I like really cute, creepy monsters though. But anyway, that is the theory for the day. I do agree with it. That was a long actual theory explanation, but I do agree with it for the reasons that I've said. So I sort of did both at the same time, I guess, because yeah, I fully agree with the Demogorgons and the everything being affected by Vecna and him control, because I mean essentially he can control like everything, right? He makes up his own reality, so it's not that big of a stretch to think that he could control, like, especially if they're not like super advanced in the minds and stuff, it's not that hard of a stretch to think that he could control a whole group of them at one time. So I think there is some merit there, and I think the guy that came up with that was like a genius to have thought of that. But anyway, do you guys think that that's possible? That maybe that is, maybe they're only like a hive mind and as vicious as they are with people because of Vecna / Henry / 1? What do you think? That being said, I'll leave that for your discussion purposes. And the creepy story that I have for today is another true one. It's not going to be that long. I only have 2 half pages of notes. But have you heard, I'm just going to jump right into it because this video is going to be long enough. Have you heard of the New England vampire panic? I had heard about it, which obviously, because that's why I wanted to do it. But when I did, I remember it being like a big surprise. 'Cause I was like, vampires in New England? What? Because, you know, you think of vampires and like Bram Stoker's from the UK. I don't remember if it's from England. He's from the UK, right? He's not American anyway. He's from a different part of the world. And his story takes place in like Transylvania, Romania, right? So not the US is the point. And then like the tale of like the oldest like recorded vampire was in, I think, what is now Croatia, or is Croatia? I'm so bad with geography. Croatia is a different country now, right? Or is it Croatia now? Anyway, that's really not the point. In that area of the world, like where Romania and Transylvania, that's where the first like recorded vampire, I believe, was, as far as true vampires. That was like, that's a story for its own day, but that was basically like a farmer that they thought was coming back from the dead and draining people of, you know, killing them off and stuff. Anyway, but that's, the point is that's all overseas. That's all, well, it's not overseas for some of you guys, because I know that more than Americans watch me, but for me, that's all overseas. It's not here. It's not like in our home area, right? Well, this happened in the area that's like Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, like that little corner right in there. Some of the towns were reporting this, and it was happening in the like late 18th century, early 19th century of New England times. And okay, so this was brought up with an outbreak of tuberculosis, which was then called consumption. And they thought that it was a disease that was causing the dead to consume the life of their surviving relatives. Consumption got its name because the disease appears to consume the body of the infected person, and because they wither slowly, basically. Like now we know that it's a bacterial disease, which, because they didn't know that then, because there were no precautions or cures for it then, it spread easily, especially to family members in the same house, right? So they thought that it was people who have previously died coming back and like draining the life force and draining the life out of their family members, because it happened to a family at a time would catch it and die off, and another member would catch it, and maybe at the same time, maybe right after, but it affected families basically. So yeah, people thought that the dead family members were back from the dead to feed on their family members. If somebody that was thought to be a vampire, because they would conduct searches, like if your brother had consumption and then maybe he died, or maybe while he was sick, your younger brother had it, or your mom got it, or, they would try to go back and figure out who in the family that was already dead was a candidate for being a vampire. And they would go to the grave, exhume the body. They would, excuse me, check the organs, and if any of them had like liquid blood still in them, like especially the heart, but any of the organs, they would decide that this person was a vampire. Or there was a few other like telltale signs, like they would say like the hair was longer, or the nails had grown, but like nowadays we know that that's from like the skin shriveling back further, and like especially with the nails, making the nails look longer than when they had been alive. Sometimes when rigor mortis sets in or whatnot, or just as the body decomposes, I'm not really sure the specifics, but the body shrivels up or shifts as it bloats, or however the unpleasantness of death in the coffin is. But they thought that, what they knew was it was laid out, it's flat, and when they dug it up, maybe it was, turned, or the head was up, or, the body was moved. So they thought if it was like a moved body, if the nails had continued growing, if the organs still had blood in them, it was a candidate for a vampire. And they were just sure that this thing was digging its way out at night, feeding on its family members, and then putting itself back in its grave. So they were vampires, right? If they were thought to be a vampire, their organs were ritualistically burned, and then sometimes the ashes were either scattered, or if they had a sick family member at the time, they were mixed into a drink or food and had the family member consume the ashes as a way to help cure them of whatever spell this vampire family member was putting on them. It didn't usually work. That cure didn't work, but usually the family member still died because they had consumption. They had tuberculosis at the time, and there was no cure for that then. But they also would arrange the bones in certain like sacrificial or whatever monument type displays. They would cut the head off sometimes. They would stake, I think that they still staked them then. But they had their ways of taking care of the vampires. So some of the more, there's like 2 cases that I knew about. There's a lot more. Like I came across a bunch of lists of different families in different areas of New England who's like which family members they thought were affected. There's newspaper headlines out there from back then. But one of the more well-known cases or whatever was in Rhode Island in 1892, the Brown family. George Brown was a farmer, and his wife had caught tuberculosis consumption and then died, and then his 2 daughters followed suit afterwards. Well, finally, and he didn't believe in the whole, he's like, no, it's not vampires, that's stupid, like, no. But then his last child, his son, got sick afterwards. And then the village basically was like, dude, one of your family members is a vampire. Like, look, you've lost your wife, you've lost your daughter, you lost your other daughter. Now your kid is sick. They're being affected by a vampire. So he finally said, like, okay, fine, go ahead, exhume my family members. I don't think it's true, but see what you find. So the wife and the eldest daughter, who had died previously, they were in various states of decomposition, right? They were not candidates for a vampire. But the younger girl, Mercy, so Mercy Brown, her body she had died during the fall, like the earlier winter. So her body was more preserved. And they found blood still in her heart, and her nails was their telltale sign, was her nails looked longer. So they had her dug up. They did the ash, they burned her heart in ashes. They had the son drink the ashes, which did not work. The son did die of consumption. They took care of it, basically, but it didn't work, was the point. And at the time, actually, since this was in Rhode Island was called the vampire capital of America, according to another newspaper headline, I guess, actually. And then, so that happened in 1892. They had all these other cases, and then finally, somebody discovered consumption and what it actually was, and no more vampire scare. But a bunch of families had their relatives exhumed because of this and taken care of in various ways. And the other case was in the 1990s, so not that long ago, in Griswold, Connecticut. There was a gravel pit, the Griswold gravel pit. And there was a skeleton found there because there was a family that I believe was the Walton family. And that at one point was their graveyard, their like homestead family graveyard. But in the 90s, in the gravel pit, the skeleton was found, and it's was clear by the remains. And when they found it, the head had been removed, and the bones and the head had been formed into a skull and crossbones arrangement, which was one of the traditional ways of counteracting the vampire. But the skeleton remains showed signs of tuberculosis. And when they found other skeletons in the area, they also showed signs of tuberculosis. But the one grave that was arranged in the skull and crossbones was obviously the assumed vampire at the time. So that was them taking care of their problem. So yeah, but a lot of vampires were found in the New England area at the time. Have you guys ever heard of that? Because I think that's crazy to me. It is crazy. I know that's not as creepy, but it definitely fits along the like macabre things that we've been talking about, right? Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. I know there's a lot more ums than usual in that one because I was trying to like get through it quickly. I know the video's not the shortest video ever, and yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So tomorrow will be gift opening time and yarn opening time, so there'll be a little bit more yarny content going on. I suppose I will let you go. If you have not yet considered it, we're only 31 people away from 3,000. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. It would be so amazing if during the month of October I got to my 3,000 milestone. So it's just a suggestion, but maybe if you want to subscribe and hit that bell, that'd be awesome. But all right, I will talk to you guys later. You know by now, I hope, but I love you so much. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far in. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.